Hello everyone. Happy Janmashtami to all. So this topic was a very highly requested one from the polls. How to study from standard textbooks in MBBS. So I have made a whole note of it, and keeping in mind this is my first video, please show some mercy on me. So the most important thing is to first keep aside all the fears and preconceptions aside. Most of us find difficulty in studying standard textbooks because we think that the language is very difficult or complex. But there are ways by which you can even break that down step by step and come to the basic concept. So in order to study from standard textbooks, your basics should be very strong, and to make a basic strong you need to study standard textbooks. So that is like a vicious cycle, you cannot escape it. Know what is utterly important and what is not. That is, you should know how to filter stuff. So for university exams, you should look at the previous year question papers of at least 10 years, and you will get to know the most important topics from your seniors. For NEET or INI, when you begin your preparation in pre-final, final year, but the thing is that for any competitive exam, the preparation begins from first year only, from standard textbooks. So at that time, you need to look at the previous year question papers of at least 5 years, so as to know what is the recent trends and what are the topics that are being asked currently. Then go to that particular topic and study it from a review book first. For example, ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease are inflammatory bowel disease that are asked repetitively in both university as well as NEET INI. So now that you know that this topic is very important, go to a review book. The one I used was Divesh Mishra. It is the recommended one in most colleges and by most seniors also. So first read the IBD part from Divesh Mishra. For example, in this case we are talking about pathology. Then after getting an overview of the topic from the review book, fill the lacunae that are left by reading the same topic from the standard textbook. Reading the same topic from the standard textbook, in this case Robbins, compile everything at one place. For example, I compiled all the information in Divesh Mishra itself. So whatever I was lacking, I used to note it down from Robbins to Divesh Mishra. So I will show you an example in the next slide as well. So right before your exams, you have all the topics and all the notes at one place, so it becomes easier for revision. So I'll take the example of a pathology in this case. So Robbins is the standard textbook for pathology and the gold standard, and I guess the best book that everyone read in MBBS. And the recommended review book that I also read was Divesh Mishra. So this is a page from Divesh Mishra. It shows all the Hodgkin lymphomas in a tabulated manner. So this is an extremely important table that is asked both in university exams as well as NEET INI. So I included everything that was missing in this table from Robbins. So in the end, I just had to revise this one table and my Hodgkin lymphoma was done. Instead of reading paragraphs from Robbins, I find it better to study things in a flowchart manner or a tabulated manner. So this is what I was coming to. Always study in a flowchart or a tabulated manner. So this table is from gastrointestinal polyposis syndromes. So all of these are asked a lot in all the competitive exams, not so much in university exams. Some universities might ask them, but my college didn't used to ask much from this. But yes, in final year we were asked a lot from this in Viva. So if you go on to study this paragraph by paragraph from Robbins, it will take you a whole day and still you might not gather a lot of information from it. But if you study the same from this one table, you get done with almost 6 to 7 syndromes in one glance. And this exact table is asked in all the competitive exams, be it the pathways that are mutated, the symptoms, and all the clinical vignettes are formed from these symptoms and lesions given, along with the image-based questions that are asked. So always study in a flowchart or a tabulated manner. It will make your life easier. Do not read line by line, but read paragraphs together so as to get the gist of the entire topic at once. Because if you start to read line by line, there is a high chance that you will get bored, or you will like to give up in the middle of it, and you might feel it is a futile exercise reading a standard textbook, because if you start reading everything line by line, it will take a lot of time to cover the entire topic, let alone the entire chapter. The next point that you should keep in mind is that you should not start highlighting in the first read, because whatever we read in the first read is something that, as naive students, we think everything is important, but it is not. First you have to go to the important topics and then mark important topics in your standard textbook or the review book that you are choosing. Do not mark every single line. I've seen people marking each and every line with the highlighter, but you don't have to do that. Because if you do, then by the end of the year, when you are revising for your university exams, you won't know what is important and what is not. So please try to filter and make your notes and information as concise as possible. Now, if by the end of this exercise you are not able to retain the information, it's okay to ditch the standard textbook. Not every student is the same. Not every student is able to retain the information the same way. So if you feel that you are lacking behind and that you might not be able to reproduce the information that you've studied from standard textbooks, it's better to ditch it and go for any other resource book that might have been recommended by seniors. For example, in pathology we have Harsh Mohan and some other new books that have come up in the market in recent years. So if standard textbooks are not your cup of tea, then you can go with these resource books. Thank you so much. And yes, this applies to all kind of standard textbooks, and the most important ones that you should read during MBBS is of course Robbins, Park and Harrison. And for Harrison, only the most important tables and topics, because the pathology part of medicine we already study from Robbins, so there's no need to study it from Harrison's. Only the treatment guidelines, the important flow charts that I have taken up on my Telegram channel. So I will keep sharing the important tables and flowcharts from Harrison's and other important topics on my group. So these are the three most important standard textbooks that one should must read during MBBS. It's okay if you do not study from Guyton, but you should study from Guyton, and it's better if you study religiously every single day, even if it is just for 3 to 4 hours, and make your own notes. At my time we didn't have Marrow in first and second year, so we didn't have that much exposure to the online coaching apps, so all of us were more or less self-reliant, so that helped in a way. And that's it. Thank you so much, and happy Janmashtami to everyone once again.